I am the Doctor, this is my section. Earth is under my protection. Planet of birth is Gallifrey. I've got 2 hearts, your life is saved. Run into the Master Raw, Missy. Come on, Alonzo. Alonzi. I am a Time Lord. No, I'm not rich. 12 bodies a man. Now it's time for a switch. Don't look like that. I'm in great health. You were expecting someone else. Regeneration. Oh, such fun. When I say run, run, run. What's that, my boy? Peace and sanity. Sorry, mustache. Reverse the polarity. Sometimes I'm north, but always a limey. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. Jump in the TARDIS, go for a ride. It's bigger on the inside. Exploring all of time and space. Oh, what's that? Exterminate.
Cyberman, Daleks, baby.
Would you like a jelly baby? Time's ticking, we'd best go. A new adventure, Geronimo! I am fantastic, so are you. Best come with me, I'm Doctor Who.
Oh, God.
Welcome to a brand new episode of D4WH, where our guests only join us to try and bring back their dead loved ones back to life.
That's so true. That's so true. You're taking longer and longer to wind up in the mornings.
Yeah, well, maybe if you wind the key in my back, that would be a little bit easier.
Yeah. Well, I think you should learn to do a few things for yourself. I mean, I'll put your shoes
It's
on.
in my back, I can't reach it.
Oh, yeah, that's a likely excuse.
Joining me, as always, is our other host. We're not a couple. Why does everyone think we're a couple?
Well, I tell them.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would make sense. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what I do. I'm here today. I have a cold.
It's Nicchia Shut.
Thank you. Nicchia short with a cold, and her sort of it's kind of I'm bordering on my phone sex voice right now. So,
whenever you have a cold, you log into phone sex.
Yeah, I log in that, and they say, "What are you wearing?" And I go, "And jeans, Ugg boots." I'm not very good yet. I'm not very good at it, especially blowing your nose during it.
Do you ever like sneeze, but you don't prepare yourself for the sneeze, so it all comes out your nose? You done that?
I hate that.
I was at a show once.
Oh no!
And I didn't want to make a big so I'm like, I'll do it sneaky sneeze, and about 2 liters of air blew through my nose. It was the most painful thing I've ever done, and it made more noise than it would have a normal sneeze too, and I just sat there in agony, what just it felt like I got hit in the face by a train, but the train came out of my face.
No, I've never seen that. I have seen someone vomit out of their nose when they were very drunk.
Oh.
Jesus.
That's never good.
And the other one that hurts is the old sneeze fart. You do a sneeze, but then you fart too, because I think we prepare for farts.
Yeah.
And when it's not expecting, it tears. You're like, oh, what?
I'm always amazed by the people who completely stop their sneeze, but their eyes bulge. And I always think their eyes are going to pop right out of their head one day. They go...
That's the thing. When I was younger and I have hay fever, so I sneeze quite a lot. I used to hold it, and my ears would and eventually I was I'm probably blowing out my ears. So then I stopped holding my nose whenever I sneezed, because I was like, my eardrums are just gonna go pop, flip out of my ears.
I had a boss who would sneeze so loudly every time he sneezed. There would be an audible from quite a few of us.
But I get that at work. I get that at work quite often when I sneeze.
Really?
And people are like, what the
Yeah, I know. I thought someone was trying to kill me. But anyway.
And leading that sneeze talk, we're joined by a returning guest. He admits in his stand-up that he doesn't get very emotional at all. It's Chris Martin. This is a perfect episode for you then.
It is neutral to be here. No, thank you for having me back. I'm looking forward to it.
Always great to have you on the
Feel
podcast.
Healthy. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Feel healthy.
Oh, that's it.
Slightly hungover,
Yeah.
but I'm all right. I'm all right.
I was wondering when you were going to mention the fact that you walked in and looked like, you'd
But I went to...
been pulled from the gutter.
I was responsible. I'm like, I have a podcast to get to
Excuse
tomorrow
me, gentlemen,
morning. So
I've
at
had-
about 11 o'clock last night or 11:30, I dismissed myself from the Victory Hotel in the city,
God.
surrounded by 20-year-olds. Oh, man, it was so weird.
What are you doing at the Vic?
Oh, because it's my birthday on Monday.
Oh, happy birthday.
So I had a couple of friends come up. Oh, thank you very much. But I had a couple of friends come up, and we used to go to the Victory Hotel. So we had dinner in, Verve, under Metro.
Oh, yeah.
It was a really nice place. So And they're like, we should go have a drink at Victory Hotel, like our heyday. So we went there, had a drink. Everything's changed. I haven't been there for years.
What is it like now? I haven't been there for years either. Last time I was there, I was 19, 20, and I was walking through the bar and a guy yelled out, "Hey, you've got big tits." And I thought, I'm never coming back here again. And I didn't.
Fair enough.
I love it when you tell us how you met Dave.
Yeah. And then we married.
Yeah.
They do this thing that I don't know if they still do it. Back when we went, they used to fill up the dance floor with foam.
Oh, yeah.
So at one point you'd turn around, then you'd be drowning in foam. You're like, what's happening? I don't know if they do that still. We kind of hung out, which we used to be the karaoke bar, but now they've turned into like a plush lounge. But there was just so many young people around us. It was ridiculous. But $5 basic spirit. So
What?
Yeah.
They can't do 2-for-1s anymore, so they do $5 basics.
That's right.
Wow.
So I was like, oh no.
I can imagine you leaving Verve and everyone's got like top hats and suits like, "Gentlemen, shall we retire for a quick drink?" And then you wake up in the morning and you're like wearing the trashiest clothes ever. You're like, "Oh fuck, what happened?"
It's like, all you like 4 hours later, and like everyone's shirt's undone. There's like someone has
buttons have been
a
ripped
black
off.
guy, some's got like a leash to a horse.
And in your mind, you're still wearing a suit and stuff. You're like, "Gentlemen, I think it's time for me to go home." Meanwhile, it's you going, and they were like, "Chris is fucked. He should go home."
Were you there last night? That's exactly what happened.
We like to see what our guests are doing the night before. And it's not stalking. It's just preparing for the podcast.
We went to a rage cage.
A
Have you ever heard of a
rage
rage
cage?
Sounds
cage?
like an MMA fight.
No.
So a rage cage is where you pay money and they give you a crate full of glassware and plates and they suit you up. You like a chemistry thing.
Yeah.
And you get gloves and they give you a baseball bat and you walk into this pit and you throw the plates up and you smash them
Was
with
this the
baseball
Smash
bats.
House you were talking
What?
Yeah,
about?
it is the most
God.
amazing thing I have ever done.
So you didn't get murdered.
Oh no, you don't get murdered, but you just therapeutic.
Oh, yeah, that would be. Although the
It was so
workplace
good.
health and safety,
Yeah.
my mind's ticking over now as a safety person. I would be having a nightmare.
Well, Chris was talking about this on Friday night, and he showed us a video of it, and it looks like a Dexter setup room because there's plastic all over the walls, obviously, so they can. It's easy to clean up, but it looked like someone was just going to inject you and be like,
That's right.
"All right,
Yeah.
this is what you've done bad. This is why I'm going to murder you."
I bought a TV, a flat screen TV, and then they put it in there for me, and then I went to town on it with a golf club. It was the best feeling
my God.
I've ever. It was so amazing.
You had your Elvis moment, but without the gun. Didn't Elvis shoot a television?
Yes.
Well, what was on? What did you pretend
no,
was on
oh,
the
what
TV as you were slapping it? Not Doctor Who, we hope.
Just my failed goals at life.
No, he had another Elvis moment where he bought a toilet and then just died on it.
That's right, yeah. And it was fun. I threw the cup in the air, like baseball bat. One cup was the strongest cup I've ever. So there's this mug. I threw it in the air and I clean hit it with a baseball bat. It didn't break. It just
Wow.
came off like a ball, hit the wall, bounced off, hit the ground, and didn't smash. And I was
My
like,
God, that's the cup I
oh
want.
my God.
Was
But then
that your nemesis then? You had to destroy that cup?
I destroyed it. Yeah,
That was your
it
Lex
died.
Luthor.
But it hurt my hand because I hit it. I don't know what happened. The vibrations sent back through the bat.
Oh.
Destroyed my hands. I was like, oh. But it was a lot of fun.
I'm going to have to try it now because I think it'd be quite
It's
good
I
sometimes
felt
when you
amazing.
need to let some...
Therapeutic stress. You're like, wow. And it's actually nice exercise.
There you go.
We start off as we always do with Doctor Who news. Now, there is currently...
Hang on. Woo! I forgot to do my woo.
Yay.
Thank you, Chris, for joining in. A
Finally.
little bit slower than everyone else, but that's...
I didn't know this woo thing was a thing.
There is currently a proposal for a 350-metre zip line in Cardiff across the beautiful Cardiff Bay. The proposed zip wire will start on the roof of the 5-star St. David's Hotel and end next to the historic Norwegian church at the other end of the bay.
It'd be very chilly
Yes, it would be.
because it's quite cold.
They
I
kind
will
of wrap
say.
you up. There's another one that they do in a gorge. It's not like you're sitting, you're kind of flat.
Oh, okay.
Wait, is it Doctor Who themed or something?
Oh, we'll get to why it's in
All right.
Doctor Who news. Now, I remember walking past the Norwegian church to get to the Doctor Who experience. It's a lovely, quaint little church that apparently a bunch of Norwegian immigrants came over and built this little church. So it's very, very historic.
Okay.
It's lovely.
However, not everyone is happy about the new exciting attraction. Residents have added their complaints to the planning side of Cardiff government, citing such issues as noise, traffic, and disruption of the bird population. One of those objections comes from local resident Russell T. Davies.
Ooh,
Yeah.
he still lives there.
Yeah, he still lives there. He doesn't live in America.
Wow.
Russell T. Davies is the creator that brought back Doctor Who.
He's the guy
Okay.
who is responsible for bringing
And he
it
made
back.
the complaint?
Yeah, he made it. He's one of the people who made a complaint about the zip wire.
All right.
In his objection, Davies states, my property will be facing a 7-day-a-week zip wire with 48 people an hour whizzing past my home and screaming for 6 months of the year. Are you kidding?
I can see how that'd be annoying.
That.
Yep.
I write for a living. I'm a television script writer. I brought Doctor Who to Cardiff in 2005. The BBC studio Rothlock across the bay was built under my aegis. That facility brings from Doctor Who alone £24 million of business per annum to Cardiff.
Wow.
But you're now suggesting that I sit in my Cardiff home and write with 48 people an hour flying past, screaming for 6 months of the year.
So he's not in favour of it, I'm guessing.
No, not at all.
You know, I got to say, I wouldn't be either. I mean, I don't like people at the best of times, but screaming people are even worse, aren't they? You know, imagine if you have 48 people running down your street screaming.
Like a zip line goes quite quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like a chairlift which will go like quite slow. Zip line. So you scream anyway.
The company is proposing 48 people an hour, so that would be less. It'd have to be less than a minute per person, because then you'd have to hook up the next person, get them down.
And what are the opening hours of this thing? So that's 48 people an hour, 8 hours a day?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
cold.
Russell T Davies estimates that 64,512 events over the proposed 6 months that they were going to set it up for.
Oof.
Let me say that again. 64,512 people whizzing past my flat, screaming while I am working. This is impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's his name?
Russell T Davies.
They're like, hey, Russell, there's a lot of anger in your scripts these days.
Yeah. Look, we're not sure about commissioning the show about destroying a zip wire company.
Or just killing all people.
The plot of every TV show is like there's a zipline company.
Look, it's a supernatural story set on another world, and it's about these two aliens that are being destroyed by the Zipwire company. All right, Russell, look, love everything up to the point where you talk about the Zipwire company again.
Wait, in this script, the bad guy gets away with it. He cuts the zip line and then it's the
They all
credits roll,
die.
and everyone's like. And the Prime Minister of the town's like, bloody good job.
The bad guy doesn't get arrested for murdering those 3 people. He gets a medal and everything.
Yeah, he gets the key to the city? What?
Well, you can imagine him, can't you? Cutting it going, I'll give you something to scream about.
And there's just a little person in the background being like, yes. Other objections are also noted by John Scott Barrowman, MBE.
Ooh.
And screenwriter Andrew Davies, who also own apartments in the area. Davies adapted the 1990 version of House of Cards.
And Pride and Prejudice.
And the 2 Bridget Jones diary.
Didn't he do Pride and Prejudice?
Do you want to know a little secret?
Yeah.
Bridget Jones is my favorite romantic comedy.
Oh, really?
Well, he's one of the scriptwriters.
I love Bridget Jones. When I was in transit in Singapore, coming back from Chicago, I had 6 hours, so I watched all the Bridget Joneses. Just in little seat.
I love Bridget
Well, he wrote
Jones.
the first 2. He helped write the first 2.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
I'm fairly sure he wrote the adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, the one that made Colin Firth every woman's fantasy
the lake,
as
the
Mr.
lake scene,
Darcy.
Yeah. And he did another adaptation of Day of the Triffids as well.
Yeah, he's very good.
He says in his objection, I am a writer and I need peace and quiet for my work. This scheme would mean that screaming idiots would whiz past my apartment 48 times an hour. I paid £350,000 for my apartment, and this zip wire, if it goes ahead, will render it worthless to me. Please abandon this reckless and unneighbourly venture.
Why can't they put a zip line where there aren't people? There must be parts of Cardiff Bay where there aren't people. It's not little.
Well, it goes across the whole of Cardiff Bay. So the issue is that at the one end there's a hotel, but next to the hotel is like a set of units.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of a residential area there.
Yeah.
So the rest of Cardiff Bay doesn't have any apartments in it. It's just that little area there.
Well, then they shouldn't have it anywhere near there, because you buy something for the peace and quiet and the view, and of course the freezing cold winds as they come in, not for the screaming.
Not for the screaming. There you go.
Yeah. I did not buy this place for the screaming.
I wonder who would buy a place for screaming, you know.
A
You'd be
vampire.
A vampire loves the screaming.
Yeah.
This house is
This sounds like what I feed.
Yeah, serial killers.
Serial killers
People
love
who don't
it.
like silence. I could see someone who's scared of like the dark or like being alone, living in that apartment, and every 40 seconds they're like, ah! And they're like, oh,
good
I'm
stuff.
not alone in the world.
There are people out there who are more scared than I am.
Is there any chance you could amplify those screams? What are you talking about? I want to hear more screams. Can you hook people up a microphone and I'll just have it in my apartment and I'll just listen to the screams?
I think they're seeing the opportunity. There's an opportunity here that they're missing. If you ever wanted to be a serial killer, you could time your torturing of your victim with the screaming of the zip line.
Oh, hey, that's not bad.
I just think people should think things through.
What about this for an idea? They install a zip line, they make it all year round, and they have the screams, and then whoever moves into that apartment, they arrest. Because they're like, you're a serial killer, 100%. No, I just love listening to the screams. Potential serial killer. Yeah. Off you go.
Everyone's got a dungeon in their house.
Everyone?
Yeah, I do.
Is this your dungeon?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, God.
You are in my dungeon.
I wondered why we had to clean so much off the walls.
It is quite nice.
Yeah.
And there's the bucket in the corner for all you.
And if you do a good episode, we'll unchain you.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was wondering what this is all about.
Yeah, if you don't do a good episode, you'll be here next week.
Yeah,
How are we going so far?
Let me just
Oh my God.
move the key into my other pocket, further away from you.
Just tighten those bonds a little, would you?
Our episode today is Father's Day, Season 1, Episode 11. Written by Paul Cornell and directed by Joe Ahern. Originally broadcast on the BBC Saturday, May 14th, 2005. We'll start with a short synopsis. Pete Allen Tyler, the father of Rose and husband of Jackie, died in a hit-and-run accident on the 7th of November 1987, the day of Stuart Hoskins and Sarah Clark's wedding when Rose was just a baby. But through her friendship with the doctor, Rose convinces him to take her to the day that he died. On a whim, she rescues him, not realizing the consequences of such a paradox. After all, the doctor has saved so many lives. What could the real consequences be over an ordinary man alive in the world who wasn't alive before?
Pretty big, I'd say. Pretty big.
Pretty
I gotta
big.
say,
Shit got real quick.
Yeah.
Paul Cornell, one of my favourite writers, and he wrote the novel, you and I were discussing this before.
Human Nature. Yeah.
Human Nature, and that's one of my favourite two-parters. Gosh,
Not
I
the
love
Australian band Human Nature.
No.
He
Okay.
wrote a story named Human Nature.
that. Yeah, and it's one of my favourites. It's quite scary. The scarecrows are
The
terrifying.
doctor pretends to be human.
Well, he is human.
He has this device that makes him biologically human for a bit.
So he doesn't have the two hearts anymore.
No, so he's
Ooh.
hiding from a particular species that only lives for a certain amount of time. If they get his essence, they can live forever, but they're evil. So he has to become human so that they can't track him.
Ooh.
It's really, really good two-parter.
And
One
then
of
they
my
did it as a
faves.
David Tennant episode.
Okay.
But that's not the episode we're talking about
No,
today.
and this episode was very hard for me to sit down and watch. I like this episode, but I haven't watched it since I lost my dad about 7 years ago.
Okay.
So I was really worried, and I blubbed. So
And as
very
we mentioned
emotional
on
for me.
Facebook, it's one of the most emotional episodes of Doctor Who, ever.
Oh, really?
Well, you have no emotion.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I was
robot.
also, I'd never experienced another Doctor Who apart from.
Yeah, and you don't have any connections
So
to his
I have no
character.
connections to
Yeah.
anyone. Just some dude in a leather jacket was like, "Your wish is my command." I'm like, "Who's this jerk?"
Where's Jodie Whittaker?
And he was so rough and edge. Like, my first thought of this guy is like, does he even? I feel like this guy could get shit done. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
by himself. They're like, oh, there's like, there's a hostage situation going in there, and he's like, yeah, just send me in. And
Yeah.
he'll like
He just
shoot
kicks
people
down the
and
door,
kick down the door.
yeah.
Well, see, you're the doctor that you've watched for us has been Jodie. So this
Yeah.
is our first, and he's a very manly doctor, I think.
That's right, yeah. But I looked it up. He's like in a lot of people's like top 4 doctors.
Yeah, not in mine. I like him. I liked other ones better.
He's just come out of the Time War, so he
Is a
The
worry.
what?
the Time War. So he's just come out of a massive war where he had to not only kill the Daleks, but he also had to kill his own people, the Time Lords.
To stop it.
All right.
To stop
So,
the
yeah.
war
So
completely.
he's seen a lot of
He's
stuff.
got a bit of
Yeah.
PTSD. Yeah. So that's why he could kick open the door and just shoot people in the head. And he's like, hey, whatever, I killed my entire planet, whatever.
Yeah, because I feel he's a bit rough around the edges. That was
Yeah.
my first, like, all right, he's not as soft as, like...
No.
And he broke... I feel like she's like, I want to go see my dad or be there when my dad dies. That's red flags. You'd be like, no,
100%,
that's...
100%.
How about we don't?
Yeah. We saw them get married. How about we just leave it at that?
He's so flippant with it. The thing that I've noticed with a theme going through this is that the doctor's almost showing off
Yeah.
to Rose all the time, and it's starting to bug me. And it did bug me that he's really flippant about this. This is a good indication he has no idea how humans feel about each other.
But then he gets through it, and Rose doesn't fuck anything up, and then she's like, can we do it again?
That's
He's
right,
like,
yeah. And
sure, let's do
red
it again.
flag.
Yeah.
That's another red flag. Be like,
know.
what? No, we've had our chance. How often does it happen in Doctor Who where you have the Doctor and the assistant, and then another doctor, like they've come back
Never.
and they sit?
Never.
So that's
very
rarely.
rare.
Very
Very rare.
Because I was like, whoa, because then they just disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's think about some physics. Would that actually happen?
Because they no longer exist because she stopped, and so that first
Oh
one.
man. Yeah. It's doesn't adhere to anything.
But I imagine if another version of you comes and does something that changes the future, then the you that was there before that wasn't interfering would just disappear, wouldn't they?
The whole point of the episode is that you can go back and change the past. So by going back and changing her past, they should still be there because they've changed the past like she's changed the past with Pete Tyler. But the idea is that because they're both there, I'm assuming because they're both in the same place at the same time and she changes something, that's what brings the Reapers?
Yeah.
It's not because it's a paradox.
No. So if the first Rose had saved Pete Tyler, it probably would have been fine.
Right.
But because that there was, it was precarious because there were two sets
of...
Yeah, and then she changed history. That's what brings the Reapers. So it was a really vulnerable point in time.
Too much change.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't even pick that up.
Well, the Reapers have never been in Doctor Who ever again.
But they feel like they should.
Okay.
Like there's something really important about them. But I've never ever in any other episode where they've had these sorts of things seen the Reapers.
Can we go back to why he actually got hit in the first place? Because in the story, he was going to pick up a present, right?
Yeah.
And that was the vase. But he
Yeah.
had the vase
He had the
already,
vase
so
in his
why did he
hand.
pull over why did he pull over there
Yeah,
anyway?
exactly.
Because he got hit by a car, then the vase broke, and I'm like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
He didn't even get out to pick up the vase to begin with, unless he's parked right next to the church. Like,
But he's not because then he goes, I'll
they
give you a
go
lift.
home.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
go home and then he goes to the church. Yeah.
So-
He
so
must be parked
if you-
right next to the church because that's where the car keeps going.
But then
around
why
the
does he
corner.
take Rose?
back to the
He
house
goes,
to get
I'll give you a
dressed.
lift. I'll give you a lift to the church.
Don't ask me.
It makes
that
no sense
confused
that he
me.
never
Like-
needed to pull over there in the first place because he
Yeah.
already had the vase.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, and I was like, all right. So I was thinking about it, but then I'm like, if he goes straight from here to the church, why'd they already get married? So I'm like, all right. So if he's pulled in here and he's near the church to go to the wedding, oh, your friend just got hit by a bloody car. Oh, we'll still get married anyway.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, he actually, there was still some time before the wedding.
Yeah.
So he went home to get dressed. So in what actually happened, he got hit and then like a couple of hours passed and then they still got married. News would have traveled to be like, oh, your friend's dead.
Yeah.
They're like, well, let's still get married anyway. Like, what the
Oh, I mean, it's an expensive day. Wouldn't you still get married and then be like, we can mourn Pete later on, you know? Like,
Yeah, I think I'd still get married.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the guy because he died 3 times
Yeah.
in his life. Like, he's the only one that's died 3
Oh,
times.
and one of the times he had to kill himself.
That's right.
He's like, oh shit, I have to
no.
jump in front of this car.
One of those times he became twice he became 2 road statistics, and the other one he became a
Suicide victim.
But no one knows.
Oh, I know.
And the funniest thing is that they say he died there alone, so far from home. Well, he's just right near the church.
Yeah.
I mean, did no one hear the screeching of brakes or... I was with you. What, they only went back to the flat so Rose could see all what of her dad's stuff was.
But the guy in the car stops as well, so I imagine that interview would have gone very strangely. So what were you doing driving on this road? Well, I appeared like 100 metres down the road, and then I just drove up here and this guy jumped in front of me. I've been doing it for fucking hours. Just appearing and then disappearing and then appearing and disappearing. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I can't get out of this time loop. Can you kill me, please? Wish I had jumped in front of my own car.
It's interesting that when I first watched it, I remember thinking, well, Pete's Pete. I don't know anything about Pete. He's completely new. I wasn't invested.
So he's never in anything
No.
else? All right.
Oh, he can't.
He comes back after this, but he hasn't been in
Much
anything.
later.
We just know that Rose's dad is dead, basically.
Okay.
So this is the first time I've ever met him, and I remember, thinking, oh, how am I going to feel? But I did invest in him, and I did grow to like him. But I found watching it that I disliked the Doctor and Rose a lot more in this one, because Rose is all smug. Oh, you'll be back. You'll be back. I knew you wouldn't go, and I wanted to slap her. And then the Doctor's all, oh, well, then now you've done something stupid. You're a stupid ape. I'm never coming. Well, what did you think she was going to do, you dick? You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just my rant. I'm over it now.
Isn't it one of the previous episodes where she goes, oh, when he gets angry, he likes to insult species? You know, he stubs his toe in the shower and he can do a whole thing on, So anyone who's not a Time Lord, and he mentions the Time Lords in here, he goes, oh, my people would have been here to fix this, but they're gone, you know.
Well, what they have, because the Time Lords aren't really good guys.
How did the Time Lords die? How did his planet die? Because there was one aspect in the episode he said, this is exactly the same thing that happened to my planet. And I was like, really? Is that what happened?
No, so they were in a war, and it was a time war, so it was kind of locked in time, basically happening over and over again, and he stopped it from ever happening.
So what happened
so
is
they
you
ceased to
could
exist
die.
then.
You could die and be brought back into the war and die and be brought, and they were wiping out other species, and it was a terrible war, and he tried very hard not to get involved, and eventually he had to because there were too many people suffering, people losing their homes, and so he had to just wipe them both out.
Yeah, so they basically don't exist anymore. The Daleks and the Time Lords.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just him.
Oh, and we've seen a Dalek at this point.
Yeah, one who fell out of the Time War. Locke. I don't know how he did.
Ah, so they still continue.
Oh, the Daleks come back over and over again.
Yeah, I can never get rid of a Dalek.
I did like the Predator vision. That was nice.
Oh, yes, from the
Yeah.
view of the Reaper.
I didn't like the I thought it was a weird noise accompanied with it. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Don't know. I suppose it didn't really stick out to me. I thought it was more screech.
It was a screecher, yeah. That was my attempt at a screech.
I won't
It's all that
screech.
alcohol you had, isn't
That's
it?
right, yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were just like num chewing something. Num.
But I like, to be honest, I had to have a laugh when they were like all like people gardening and they go, ah, and then it's like a shovel would land or like a cola would roll across the. I'm like, oh my god, what was the budget for this?
I did like the fact that they didn't overshow the Reapers. When they did show them, yeah, you know, like we always complain sometimes in Doctor Who when the monster's not that good or the CGI's not that good. Hint at it better and don't show
Okay,
it.
so what did you think of the CGI in this episode?
Look, I've seen worse in
Chris?
Doctor Who.
It was pretty. I liked that, like, you know,
Yes.
when they spread their wings, they show they have a front asshole on their chest. Why do they have that? What's the point of that?
That's their mouth, I think.
Oh well,
Yeah.
it looks like a butthole.
Only you, Chris, thought they had a front butthole.
Oh no, I watched it with Taylor and she's like, "Is that a butthole?" I was like,
Well, no, you
"Could be."
didn't see them turn around, but they've got a very tiny cat's asshole at the back. Yeah, no, I don't know.
But I was like, "Wow."
I was trying to think, is that how the alien opens their mouth, right? You know, in Alien?
Oh, Alien just opens up.
But doesn't something come out?
Yeah, it has a second mouth.
So I suppose they were trying to work on something.
I think sometimes when they showed it, it had teeth in there, and then other times it was just a black hole, so...
Yeah, I liked it better when it was just the weird, view that you were just getting the eyes and stuff.
But that's my thing, like, was the weird view happening when they were still invisible? Because it seems like they come into existence and then they're like, ah! But everyone was just like, they were being watched, but people are just like still hanging up watching. And it's like, if something appeared above you and started screaming, you'd be like, holy shit, what the fuck is that? but meanwhile, people are just, he does guys drinking and then all of a sudden it's like, ah! And like, ah, shit!
Oh, I don't know. I never really thought about that.
To me, it was like, oh, so they're the time police.
Essentially, is what...
They fix.
They're here to sterilise the wound.
I feel like I much would have preferred someone to just turn up in like a suit and tie and be like, "Hi, you're
I'm
under
the time
arrest."
police.
So you just wanted Chris Hemsworth and Tessa
I love
Thompson
Chris
to
Hemsworth,
turn
yeah.
up. Men in Black International.
Thor's my man. I love Thor.
But that was the insinuation that that's what the Time Lords would do. The Time Lords would have rocked up and been like, okay, you fucked up.
so they're
Let's
the police of
Let's
the-
sort them out.
They're the police of the time police.
But
Wow.
he's wrong because the Time Lords always had a policy of not interfering.
Well, they wouldn't have a show.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's
true.
like Star Trek, where their first prime directive is don't interfere. And then, oh shit, if they never interfered, there'd be no friggin' episode.
Exactly, there's always interfering.
Does interfering involve having sex with them? Yes, Kirk. Yes, it does. I'm going to do it anyway. I fucking thought you might. I thought you might.
This is Kirk, that's all he does. He's going out to find new people to hump.
I also want to point out that the Reapers are racist because there was that moment in the playground where the only person who wasn't kidnapped was the black kid.
Yeah,
and
Mickey.
I was like, this is blatant racism.
Well, that's because Mickey is a character later on in the series.
So who is Mickey?
Mickey is Rose's boyfriend.
What?
Yeah.
Little Rose.
Oh, little. Okay, yeah.
I didn't know Mickey was older than Rose.
Yeah, no, nor did I. I thought they were the same
I
age.
thought perhaps it was like her adopted brother because
No.
he hugged her mum.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, maybe that's the stepson or something.
No, and I don't know why, and I don't know who it was that was pushing Mickey on the swing, but they're gone. Was that his nan?
Well, maybe that's his
I think it
mum,
was
and
like
that's
an
why his
old-
mum's
yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
It looked like an older lady.
Yeah, I thought it was his gran.
But that's why Rose says, I think I just imprinted on Mickey. And basically that's why
Mickey's devoted to
he
her.
wants to date her.
And she's kind of she's doing a Kirk. She's
Yeah.
out to flirt with everything in the universe.
To be honest, they were scary enough.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't scary,
No.
like when you watch, but if you're in real life situation and that thing appeared in front of you, yeah, you'd crap your dacks and be like, oh.
You wouldn't be screaming out, that's terrible CGI.
No, you're not scary. I'm like, holy shit.
That would be sneezing, farting, coughing, crapping yourself, everything all at once.
Did you notice that the tail of the Reapers were little scythes?
Little what?
Scythes, like the Grim Reaper.
Oh no, I didn't.
So originally the
notice
monster
that.
was going to be the Grim Reaper, and it was going to come down and but then they decided to turn it into a alien-like creature.
No, well, when I was flying around, I didn't notice that. I just went, oh, this is just a bad dragon.
Yes, essentially.
This is
We've
terrible.
watched too much Game of Thrones. That's what's wrong with us. we know what good dragons
Well,
look
did you
like.
see Daenerys Targaryen riding one of them?
Oh, I did. I did, and you know it's all going to turn bad.
It's the only time that I've seen an episode of Doctor Who where someone's got their tits out. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
So the Doctor and Rose argue after she's made this big, big change in the world.
And she's smug.
Yeah.
You'll be back. I mean, he's just literally kicked a companion out of the TARDIS. What, the episode before,
Yeah,
or the one
yeah.
that he's kicked Adam out for doing the wrong thing and left him? So why does she think that he's going to come back for her?
There was I don't.
There was a companion who was with the Doctor for like one episode.
Yeah.
Because Rose was trying to hook up with him. Who knows why? He was an
So
absolute
he had
plonker
two companions.
Yeah.
for one episode. Yeah.
And he left the other.
Well, he had to leave him because what he did was he used everything that he could find to try and make his life better at home. So he got information and sent it back. And he ended up getting this computer thing in his head, which you can't have. And so the doctor said, nope, you're gone. And he left him with this big door in his head. So when you click, it opens up and you can see his brain. It's really quite gross.
Well, I feel like, you can leave someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Rose is acting like, oh no, he'll come pick me up.
Well, and then he's like a lovesick puppy
Yeah.
with her.
Well, maybe that's why. Maybe she's used to just guys just falling over her.
Yeah, maybe.
She did just meet her dad for the first time, so I feel like that
Yeah.
that could play a part of like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah, and I suppose, if you were going to pick seeing my dad again, who's passed away, and the doctor, I'd pick my dad. Sorry. So there you go. So I understand that. Yeah.
And he should have been more straightforward because she asked things like, "Oh, what? You just want him to be dead?" I'd be like, "Yes, he should be dead." He's like, "I didn't say that." Yeah, that's what you mean. That's
He should
exactly
be dead,
what you should be saying.
or everyone else is going to die.
It would have looked real shitty if the Doctor was like, yeah, I want him dead, and then like no Reapers turned up. It's just all good and all fine. He's like, yeah, I stand by what I said. I know nothing bad happened because of there's no consequences or anything, but I stand by what I said.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I love it when he goes back to the TARDIS and it's just a
Oh, yeah.
box. So
empty.
finally, they just showed us what it looks like inside when they get in. We know what it looks like, just a box.
Oh, so you've never seen that before?
No, we always see the inside of the TARDIS, the big console
But you've never
room.
seen
so-
where it's just the.
just a box.
And I'm assuming that's what the prop looks like when they just didn't do the CGI where they put the
Like a green screen or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yep.
So I thought that was good, and then he runs back to Rose, but
and she has that smug look on her face. It's like, I knew
I
you'd
know,
be
and I
back."
wanted to punch it. I really did. Oh, I forgot how much Rose annoys me sometimes.
What about Pete trying to crack on to Rose?
I don't know if he was trying to crack
I
on.
know,
But my God, didn't she? She has
if
a
I was
long
dating you,
speech.
no, we're not
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
there. You're not getting a piece of this. I have no daddy issues whatsoever.
Yeah. Oh, she has so many daddy issues. Oh, this is a girl who slept away through high school, I can tell you right now.
But she has this idealized image of her dad.
Well, that's what Jackie gave her.
Yeah.
And that's a nice thing. Jackie could have said, well, your father was a deadbeat and a dickhead and, we were going to get divorced anyway. But she told her all these lovely stories, which is a really nice thing because every child has the right to love their parent.
I like he was honest. He's like, you took me for picnics every Saturday. He's like, whoa, no, I
Yeah,
didn't.
no, that's not me.
I was dead. Oh, no. I'm dead.
When she was doing that, I was like, Jesus, you're laying it on a bit thick, love.
Yeah.
You never, ever let us down. You know, sometimes even the best person's going to let you down once or twice.
Yeah, she should have made it just a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
You know,
You
didn't make my 13th birthday. We fought and, I just
He
make it all
worked
up.
out he was dead because she's like, you were really nice. He's
You were
like,
the
"Whoa."
perfect dad.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think so.
I've met me.
Yeah, I've seen me in a mirror.
No, I'm pretty sure I died. All right.
I tried to hook up with a girl at a coat check. I don't think I would be there every single time.
But was it just a cut? I was really confused by that. Was he really
Don't know.
getting it on,
know.
or
I like to think that
Or he's just
I'll
a
give him the benefit of the doubt.
clumsy idiot?
Clumsy idiot. He's the kind of person who would, go into a room with a woman, then slip over, his shirt would fall off,
No,
and
yeah.
then her dress would rip up. And he'd be like, oh no! And then,
Suddenly there's a sauce bottle in his bum, and he goes,
Yeah.
I don't know where this happened.
And then Jackie walks in and she's like, what's going on?
he's like, I swear.
I just fell over.
I fell in the sauce bottle. It's up my bum. Help
That's
me.
happened
I
before.
don't know how a condom
Has that happened
got
to
on
you,
it.
Chris?
Hasn't happened to me, but in the history of people, that has happened, and someone got a divorce because they were caught red-handed. But what actually happened was just a sequence of just unfortunate.
As Rose and Pete are driving over to the wedding, the radio switches over and it's don't mug yourself by the streets.
Yeah, so I didn't know what that was.
Oh,
No,
okay.
me either. I just thought, oh God, they had rap crap then, really?
But the streets are saying people were like, I'm not trying to pull you.
Yeah.
I liked that it was Watson. Not Watson.
Yeah, Watson,
Yeah.
come here,
I need you. Yeah.
That's Graham Bell.
Yeah, I was thinking of Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes, the fictional character, created the first telephone.
I felt like the dad didn't have enough. Like, wow, that's what your phone is. He was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's your phone.
Yeah, he didn't seem...
He's like, yep. I would be like, holy.
But then in the very next scene, they show someone with a mobile phone.
and it was so big.
Yeah.
In the 80s, like, no one had ever seen a mobile phone, like...
Yeah.
They showed someone with a mobile phone, so it kind of makes sense for him
It
to
was
be
the
like,
dad of the-
oh, you just have a smaller version of that.
Down
Yeah.
the groom, it was against the wedding. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is a big sign. What?
Yeah.
Is that because she was pregnant, or he just didn't like her?
I don't know if he didn't like her.
Yeah.
It's
It was basically
87.
being like, son, sleep around. Like, Jesus, don't marry this woman.
And maybe it is a bad omen when half your audience or your guests aren't there.
Well, and I'm trying to think back in the 80s. So, yeah, there was still a real stigma about, getting pregnant before you were married or living in sin, as they called it, or all that sort of stuff. So that was still
But
quite a
surely
stigma.
all those people would have said, yes, we're coming to the wedding. So you would have just like, well, who are these dicks who said they were coming to the wedding and then didn't show up?
Yeah. But I knew he'd be the first to die. Like, I
Oh,
just
really?
knew. I just knew. Like, because they always set up those kind of characters.
Yeah.
Like, and then
You
dead.
teens and your premarital sex, there's no dancing in this town.
and then dead. And you're like, of course.
But he comes back.
But it's so weird because it avoided the pregnant bride and went for the dad,
Yeah.
even though she was clearly the closest.
Maybe
thing.
because he was older.
But doesn't it say older things are
Yeah,
stronger?
older things are stronger.
Well, I don't know.
He does, because that's
does,
why they're
yeah.
in the church.
But then at the end, when the things are coming for the people, the doctor goes, I'm the oldest thing here, come for me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But he says at the beginning, the older something is, the stronger it is.
Yeah.
So her holding the baby,
Yeah, maybe the baby was too young. And
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't want a lamb, that's for sure. I want a good roast.
oh God, I love a good lamb roast.
Still in its mother's womb?
Says the non-vegan.
Oh, yeah,
Country girl.
we're all vegan.
Yeah,
that's it. No,
I
yeah.
see you with your tofu burger.
I mean, we've kind of insulted vegans on
Yeah.
previous episodes.
Poor vegans.
And Jackie's a bit of a jealous woman, isn't she?
Oh man, well,
This
understandably,
bitch.
they turn up with another woman. You're
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh, all right, that's cool. Come on in.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be like, is this a friend of yours? Do they know people? Like,
I would have said, is this a friend's daughter?
yeah.
Obviously, it gives you a bit of a background into Jackie and Pete. And I think, Jackie'd be tough to live with at the best of times,
Yeah.
wouldn't she? And Pete's trying his best. But both Jackie and Rose, they've got these men who are devoted to them that they don't seem to really, I don't know, like. It's weird.
Do you see Jackie through the series?
Yeah, well, she's
Yeah.
in the first couple of episodes, yeah. She's
Yeah.
she's throughout the series.
She's usually in a leisure suit.
I wonder after this event, she's like, I remember the time that you came to the wedding on the day your dad died.
No,
you were
they-
as an adult.
They all lose their memory of it.
That's just. But I feel like, all right, so if we put it into perspective, coat closet incident, and then he turns up with another woman, you're going to be like, hey, who's this?
Yeah.
And he can't even tell her, because they're like, oh, is this? If you ask any question, like, where'd you meet her? Like, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, what the?
And she's just called him Dad. She just called him Dad. So you'd be like, I don't know what the hell's going on right now. She just called me Dad. Excuse me, what? Look, forget I mentioned that. Let's forget that detail.
That's right, because there's something really weird about that "who's your daddy" line. Anyway, any guy said to me, "Who's your daddy?" I go, "Max Schutt, not you. Get out."
So the dad of the groom got eaten.
Oh yeah, he did.
And then they all ran. They used that moment of his death to be like, that's our escape point. Can you imagine being the dead, the victim of the getaway plan?
Yeah, I'm so pleased that you all got away.
You'd be getting mauled in the corner of your eye. People going, yeah. You'd be like, son of
God
a
damn, help me. I love that he gets eaten in front of the church and the doctor's like, get into the church. Like, that's where the fucking creature is. Are you serious?
Well, then it eats the minister.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
It hates organised religion.
Oh, so the episode's really about tear down Christianity.
Yeah. There's that bit where the doctor's like, the church is really old, so I hope the Reapers fucking tear it down. Yeah.
So they get in there. Now, what I'm curious about, now I felt it happened organically, so I was quite okay with it, but I'm interested. As Pete starts to work out what's going on and who he is and where he fits in and where Rose fits in, did you feel that was an organic discovery, or did you feel like it was a bit of a leap? Because I thought it felt organic.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, I think it felt organic, and I think he asked the right question of what's so important about 1980.
Yeah.
Nothing happened special this time. Why would you come out? And he's like, oh, all right. He put it together.
What am I like in the future? And she kind of goes quiet, and he's like, why? What's so special
Am
about
I
this year? I
bald?
don't
Yeah.
understand. Almost got hit by a car, but
But I think, and then her answer to that was like, that was just a coincidence.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But didn't the doctor, because the doctor was looking out the window and he stood next to him and they saw the car go by. I think the doctor doing that was kind of like, let's kind of like move this party along.
Well, Pete says later on, the doctor knew from the start, basically. From the moment he saw that car, he's like, oh, well, hey, Petey, old boy, do you want to just maybe go stand in front of that car for a second?
Yeah.
Look, it's all right.
Kill
I'm
yourself,
a time traveler. I know that it's not going to hit you, but if it does, thank you very much.
No, it did feel really organic. And I think it added to Pete that he's not like some dumbass who just kind of, I'm alive and I wandered around. And he worked out that things were going wrong, and he worked out that Rose was his daughter very quickly.
That's right.
I like that.
Yeah, that was a nice part of the episode.
And then she goes, don't tell Jackie.
Oh.
And Pete would have been like, are you serious? He thinks I want to fuck you. Why can't I tell her you're my daughter? It makes so much more sense why I want to hang around with you.
But when she says, in my time, Jackie can't set the VCR, and he said, yeah, I just taught her yesterday. And she looks at him and goes, oh, point taken. So it's a bit much for Jackie, I think.
All right, I'll ruin my marriage with my wife to talk to my daughter from the future. That's totally fine. Don't worry about it.
No, that's all right. I'm going to be dead in a few minutes anyway. That's me personally, not Pete Tyler. It's just as cold. It's really
Has anyone seen the movie The Langoliers, the Stephen King, based on Stephen King book?
Is that
No.
Is that the one with the plane on the cover?
It's a plane. Bronson Pinchot from Perfect Strangers is the bad guy, and basically the plane.
Oh my god, I haven't heard that name in 100 years.
I used to watch that movie all the time.
Really?
It's a terrible, terrible movie. It's a miniseries. It goes over 2 nights.
They do terrible stuff with Stephen King novels that are so good.
But I loved it because it had to do with time. And basically, this plane goes through the Aurora Borealis. It goes through like this rip in time, basically, and they end up in the past. But what happens is that the past is a stationary moment in time, and the future is gone, basically. So, and then what happens is the past gets cleaned up by these creatures called the Langoliers, and they come in and they eat the past so that the future can continue happening. But these people, anyone who fell asleep on the plane
Is stuck in the past.
is alive on the plane. Everyone else gets killed. Everyone disappears. And so these Langolier creatures come and they eat time, and then it's about how these people have to get back on a plane and try and get back. And Bronson Pinchot is like, I've got a meeting to get to. I'm a bad guy. And then he starts killing people for some reason. reason, I don't know. It's crazy. It's a Stephen King novel, so of course someone's like, I've got a meeting to get to. I'm a psychopath. I'm gonna kill you all.
I would say it was really, really good in the book, and anything they ever translate with Stephen King to television is always really shit.
Well, it's a short story. It's not even a full book. It's a short story that they turn into two-hour movies. It's insane.
Yeah, the only good Stephen King one that they ever did was The Shawshank Redemption. That was a short story.
Oh, you
called
should
Rita
see
Hayworth.
the new It. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really good.
I like the new It, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't
And
seen
the
it.
trailer of the new one looks good too.
Yeah.
But why did you bring that up? So this episode
Well,
reminds
it reminds
you...
me, the Reapers remind me of, they're creatures who fix time, basically, whereas the Langoliers are also quite similar to that. They fix time.
When you say they like, but you said they eat time.
Yeah.
So they physically like
Yeah, they're literally like balls with teeth.
Like a sub?
Like a sub,
like
like
a
a-
foot
they-
sub?
like,
Long sub.
They're like balls with teeth, and they fly around and they chew
and
up.
why do you live if you fell asleep on the plane?
Oh, because they went through a crack in time to the past.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't explain why they.
So I'd die because I never sleep on planes.
Yeah, so anyone who was asleep just managed to survive. Whereas,
Okay.
And then the thing is, to get back to their own time, one of them has to sacrifice themselves to lower the oxygen so they fall asleep, but then turn it back on when everyone's asleep so that they wake up again.
All right, welcome to the Stephen King podcast.
But
that
this
we're doing
episode, the
year.
Reapers
No, it
remind me of the
does.
Langoliers, where they're...
As you're explaining it,
yeah.
yes, that does. And the Reapers,
they're a natural creature that
Yeah, they're not good or
returns
bad.
time to its normal
they're
state.
just doing
Yeah.
what
Well, they're
they
just
do.
doing their job.
Yeah.
They're just big computer chips
Yeah.
who are like, oh, we got to fix this, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But like, the whole world was in jeopardy. They were attacking everyone.
Yeah,
I'm
I'd say
assuming
there
so.
were only well, in this one, he said there's only pockets of humanity left.
Oh, okay.
But I'm assuming that all of time was being destroyed.
Yeah, so if they eat everybody, what happens? How have they fixed it?
I think
don't know.
it might be.
I would need
Maybe
to
when
know
they kill
this.
him, it gets fixed.
Yeah.
Maybe they're looking. Maybe they're not sure
Maybe
who
they
the
need to
person
look
is.
for Pete, so they're just eating whoever.
So they just eat whoever, and when they hit the lucky number,
Yeah.
everything comes back to normal. They're like, oh, we did the
And
job.
then time happens, but without anybody who got eaten, basically.
You think they'd have better technology? You're like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Let's
Wow.
just get that guy.
Well, they don't have any technology, so they maybe just have sense of smell, and they're like, it's around here somewhere. I can smell it.
Somebody smells alive that should be dead.
I better eat this homeless person. He might be it. I better eat this
Ugh,
woman
yucky.
doing the wash. Yeah, homeless people.
Yeah.
Hey guys, homeless
I'm not
people,
eating that
bad.
black kid. That's what they did it.
You think they're racist?
Yeah, I ain't eating that black kid though. Maybe they were like, no, that's racist.
Yeah.
With guys, we're not
No,
going to eat
man,
that.
no,
black
I'm not racist. I'm just saying, it doesn't look like me.
That's right,
I'm a big brown monster, so I only eat things that look like me.
And I'm not eating the fat people, all right? Okay? I'm not eating them because everyone expects me to.
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't eat that woman with the kid who's getting married. Oh, yeah, look, that's a different thing, all right? No, I feel like it's the same thing, yeah?
Just eat everybody. I'm picky.
Just because your wife left you on your wedding day. Hey, man, it's got nothing to do with that. I ate the dad, didn't I?
I think it'd be terrible to be a reaper and be picky. Fussy about your food. Because I'm very fussy about my food. I'd be no good. I'd be getting, no, I'm not going to eat that.
It'd be terrible to be a reaper at all, because you'd be sitting around being like, really hungry, wish someone would create a paradox so I could have something to
Oh,
eat.
how about this smug little blonde and the big guy here? They'll cause one for sure.
Hey, Mike, remember when we had that girl who was traveling with the doctor and they created that one paradox and then they never did it again? I wish they created another paradox so we could have something else to eat.
Well, maybe they're at other planets where paradoxes are
maybe,
just...
yeah.
Maybe there's natural paradoxes in the fabric of other universes.
There you go.
If I was a reaper, I'd carry around Chipotle because I like chicken wings. So I'd be like, yeah, and I'd eat them like you'd eat a chicken wing.
No. I thought it was going to be like a corn cob where you like, no.
I guess you could get those corn thing and put one
could.
one yum.
Well, I'm fairly fussy, so I'd probably have to take dip with me and put everyone in dip. Just a bit of, gherkin dip. Yum.
I'd basically I'd eat one, but then I'd grab another one and be like, no, I'm just going to save you for later. And then eat another and then, save you for later. Be like, I wish someone would create another paradox. Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? No.
Imagine getting gastro from a human. Oh man, I ate too many homeless people.
Oh, too many old guys again.
Oh, what is this?
It's the only way we can get drunk is by eating people who are already drunk.
That was quite
So
funny.
if they eat people, what do they drink?
Piss. We were all thinking it.
I was thinking Milo.
Milo, yeah.
That would be so weird. If they're yum, 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 yum. Time for a Milo, guys. Milo break, you'd be like, what? In like your little jail cell?
Okay,
Like-
now you two are too young for this, but anyone who's older and Australian will remember that there was an ad for Milo, and she used to make and she'd say, "See the crunchy bits on the top? You can eat them, and the ones down the bottom you can drink." And then she'd have this big thing of Milo all over her face and smile.
And then she'd be devoured by a giant monster.
Yeah. It was a weird ad, but every time I see Milo now, I go, "See the crunchy bits on the top? You can eat them." People go, yeah? I go, "It's an ad."
It'd be great if the Reapers were like, eat someone and be like, "Hey, do you guys have Milo?
Yeah.
We love Milo. It's the best thing you guys have. Excuse me, while you're all, just feel free to keep screaming. I'm just gonna... crunchy bits at the top you can eat, much like a human skull."
What if he killed himself and they didn't disappear and they're like, we're just here for the Milo, guys. We couldn't give a shit about time or whatever that deal
Pete
was.
Tyler, I don't know what you're
All
up
right,
to.
guys, get the Milo, and then then a big ship appears, and every Milo can on Earth gets sucked into it. They're like, next planet.
Well, you know, I told you that at boarding school we used to have tubes of condensed milk
yes.
that we would eat.
That was great.
Thank you. Someone
Condensed
else who's
milk's
done
delicious.
No, I would never eat condensed milk. What the fuck are you talking about?
Because it's
it.
delicious.
It's delicious.
Okay, all right.
It's like sugar milk,
Yeah.
Sugar milk, you're really selling
but
it.
thick.
Oh, it's
Sugar milk toothpaste.
beautiful.
And I've always wanted to eat toothpaste.
No, but it doesn't. It tastes like it's
It's
so
delicious.
good. It's delicious.
Well, we used to, at school, we used to buy little tins of Milo, keep it under your bed, and, well, I kept it under my bed because it's pig. And we'd all eat dry Milo in front of the TV.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. Well, we never. They didn't. I think they did give us milk, but only at meal times. We didn't have it any other time. So yeah. So
remember, like the
sometimes you
first
could put condensed milk on it.
spoonful you put in, it was you put it in, but because it was so dry,
Yeah, you go,
you chew and you'd be like, I've made a terrible mistake. But then after
too
like
much.
5 minutes of going,
All right.
here
I've
we go,
wet this
here
down.
we go.
Yeah.
We've wetted it down. But the first one's going to go.
Does everybody? Are we Australia the only country with Milo? They must have.
No, they do have it in like Asia.
Okay.
I think they have.
So what's it? What's an English or American version? Ovaltine or?
Probably, yeah.
I don't know. I've never tried.
It's Australian.
Ovaltine.
It is Australian.
Yeah, it is
Milo's very
I believe,
Australian.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because I've watched some like Chinese shows and stuff.
Okay, and
you
they've
can
had
and
Milo.
you see it in the background in their shops. Yeah.
Milo, but you'd always put too much on your spoon in your first one. It'd be so dry. You'd go, I shouldn't be so as you got through it.
It's like eating the Wheat Bix in 2-minute challenge. Where you're like, I could do that. And you do the first crunch and go, oh, I'm in big trouble here.
Yeah. Eat Wheat Bix
so
and whistle. You just
It's
can't do
so
it.
dry.
Oh, maybe
no.
if I just a Milo, it'll be easier. Oh no, that's even worse. That's even worse.
The worst thing is watching someone try to whistle as bits of wheat bit come out of their, or Vitabrit come out of their face.
For me, that's the difference between Nesquik and Milo, is that you can't just grab a thing of Nesquik and be like, I'm just going to stick this in my face.
No. No, too sweet.
Anyway, so I think we've all in agreement that Reapers eat humans and drink Milo.
And drink
right?
Milo.
exactly, yeah.
I think that's a healthy, balanced diet.
And our US listeners, UK and US listeners, if you want to let us know if you know what Milo is, it's like
Yeah.
a chocolatey powder
They
thing.
know what Ovaltine
It's
is.
granules.
Yeah.
Because
So
of that
like
Seinfeld
Ovaltine.
episode, Ovaltine. It's round. Why do they call it Ovaltine?
Yeah, I remember Ovaltine's like...
Is it chunky or powdery? I thought it was
Ovaltine.
powdery.
I think it's powdery.
Like
Milo's
quick.
more chunky, yeah.
There's Nesquik too.
Yeah.
I did like Nesquik because it dissolved all the way and it was a very chocolatey drink. It was quite nice.
Someone
never
told me they liked Nesquik over Milo because it was like banana flavour.
No, I didn't like. I wouldn't say I'd go that far, but it was
No.
still quite a tasty.
Yeah.
It was alright. It was what you had when Milo was too expensive.
Yeah.
When it was on special.
When it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's the Stephen King and Milo podcast we've
Guys, the
been working on.
Langoliers,
If
don't
only we could
check
get
it out.
Milo to,
To sponsor us. And
Sponsor it.
Stephen King.
Sponsor us.
And Stephen King.
Yeah, and Steve.
The married couple are petrified. They ask the doctor to give them some assistance,
I
even
loved
though
this.
they aren't important.
I love this because this, and I think there's a quote from a Matt Smith episode, if you got that quote.
Yeah.
I love this because this is the doctor to me.
In A Christmas Carol, the doctor says, "Blimey, that's amazing. Do you know, in 900 years of time and space, I've never met anyone who wasn't important before."
I really like that. Yeah. And they tell the story of how they met and he goes, oh, that's amazing and you're amazing. And I really like that. I like that because it's not about who's the important people. It's just everybody's everybody's important. So that's the Doctor Who ethos that I picked up as a kid. Everybody's important. Everybody's kind of equal. And then no.
Yeah. Just except for the Doctor, who's more important than everyone else.
Well, he's not more important.
You guys are all important, but this guy right here, I know exactly what I'm doing. So shut the fuck up. Go sit down again.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
He's a little more important. Maybe. Yeah, all right, he is. But so I liked that, and I liked that it's just a very human story. It's actually, this is a great episode of a human story, and we've talked about with the Chris Chibnall stuff that it's been very domestic. This is a great way of showing a domestic episode where it matters, that it fits perfectly into the Doctor Who universe, I think, but I don't know. I know you're both looking at me like,
well, I don't know enough about it, but I think you're probably right.
I think you get most of the relationship in the episode, but yeah, I agree that
it's domestic, but it's lovely.
So you've been through almost an entire season with the Doctor and Rose, so you've kind of got to know them. If this was episode like 2 or 3, you'd be like, I don't really get the relationship happening here,
Yeah, I still have an issue with the Rose Doctor relationship in this first series. I'm not completely buying that he's, so devoted to her. I think Sam hit it on the head when he said that there's not enough chemistry between the two of them.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit more in this episode, but there's still, I don't know, she just had different chemistry with David Tennant and it worked in the setting of what they were building up.
I think they're trying to force it to be like, Rose and the Doctor are in love with each other.
Yeah, and it's forced.
Yeah, but they're more obviously just good friends.
Yeah.
How'd they come across one another?
He blew up the place where she worked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
As he does. And then, they sort of helped each other out. And then...
And she was like, well, I have nowhere to work anymore.
Yeah.
Can I go with you? And she's like, all right.
And I don't really like my boyfriend, so I'll go with you. Okay. So off she went. Yeah.
And the Doctor she just kept being caught up with these plastic aliens. And so the Doctor just kept turning up being like, oh, hey, you're here again. Oh.
Okay.
But then he talks in the first episode, he goes, oh, do you want to come travel with me? This is a spaceship. And she goes, no, that's fine. And then he kind of disappears and he comes back.
Well, she doesn't say that. I mean, she thinks about it.
Yeah,
and then her boyfriend goes,
I've got to look after Mickey. And then he comes back and she's like, it's also a time machine. Do you want to jump in now? And she's like, oh, hell yeah. So in this episode, he goes, I told you it was a time machine and all of a sudden you wanted to come traveling with me. Because he's like, were you planning this the whole time? And like, when am I going to get my chance to go save my dad?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, they are properly crossed with each other. And this Doctor does cross very well.
Oh, yes.
He scares me. I wanted to apologise for Rose. I was so nervous.
Well, I mean, if you apologise to Christopher Eccleston on the internet, he'd probably tell you he wants to kill himself or something.
Oh, poor old Christopher. I think we've misjudged him. I think until you know somebody, we'll just call him, he's just delicate.
Yeah, he's delicate. He described, because he was in Thor 2 and he was in the G.I. Joe sequel movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Under a lot of prosthetics, I think.
Oh, okay.
Certainly in Thor.
He said of his time doing those two movies, he said, every day I want to put a gun in my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's a cheery lad.
Yeah.
And right.
Yeah.
They're like, nice acting. He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really do want to kill myself.
You can take that gun out of your mouth now. It was just for the scene. No, I'll keep it there.
It's funny. I read an interview before the series started with Tom Baker, and he was saying, they were saying, how do you feel about them bringing Doctor Who back? Because he's the quintessential Doctor for everyone, the big scarf and the big hair and eyes. He said, it's good to have it back. He said, but I did read that the actor Christopher Eccleston said that he's going to take it very seriously. And he said, I think that's very wrong. I think you should never take the Doctor seriously. So he does this whole interview, and then at the end he says, if you think of any more questions, he says, you just answer himself, because he said, I make up all my answers anyway. So that's Tom Baker. But yeah, so he was worried.
Meanwhile, Christopher Eccleston, the BBC made up a statement about why he left, and he tried to sue them. So not the same.
He only did the one season, right?
Yeah. I think he thought it was going to be a bit more serious. I don't know what he thought. I think he was probably promised a bit more, and he's a serious actor, and I think that's what he's happy doing. No, he never saw himself as someone that appealed to kids. Although the first Doctor, William Hartnell, was the same.
Well, he did nothing in this episode where I was like, ha ha ha, that's funny. That's funny. It was very droll and everyone, you will die if you don't follow. You will die. I repeat, there is no chance of you surviving if you don't do what I say.
Don't touch my TARDIS, guys.
See that key? Don't touch the key or you will die. All right.
Who's your friend, Rose? He's a bit of a downer.
And if you don't die, I will kill you. Okay, guys.
But also, like, just little things like, oh, you can't touch the baby or it'll start a paradox. You know, well, get the either side of the fucking room.
Yeah.
So
Lock
that
the
can
baby
never
up in a
happen.
room.
And
Yeah.
also make
Separate
that
rooms,
announcement
please.
to everybody.
Yeah.
Not just to Rose. Because that was in the Mordred Undead with the Brigadier. The Brigadier was a character and he runs into himself. And that was a big thing. Don't touch yourself, huh?
Yeah.
Not on a kiddie show. Sorry.
If you-
So I was going somewhere really
Don't touch
weird.
your baby self. Oh, God.
I think if you're the doctor, if I was a doctor, I would have walked to the front of the church and said, this is the story, this is what's happening, it's going to blow your fucking mind.
Yeah.
But alright, this guy over here was meant to die this morning. We're from the future, we came back. This idiot daughter of his saved his life, and now these time creatures are trying to correct the fault.
So don't
now,
get it.
things that are going to happen. I'm going to take this guy outside, so he's going to kill himself. Say your goodbyes now. Separate these two, so, okay. You either kill yourself or I kill you. Make your choice.
Everyone who's angry at Rose, come over here. You can start beating the crap out of her right now.
Yeah, but don't bring the baby. Baby goes way over there.
And you see this TARDIS key? Don't touch that,
Yeah.
or you're all going to
You're
die.
all gonna die.
Basically, there's a 90% chance you're all going to die.
And break. Okay.
Any questions? No, I'm not going to answer them, so shut up.
I feel like with flying monsters around the air, you can be like, all right, we're going to tell you a few things.
Yeah, I think they could have told him the truth.
This is the plan.
Yeah, listen up, guys.
Yeah.
Just tell him the truth. I mean, if you can't touch the baby, get the hell away from there. And Rose, when someone brings the baby near you, run, woman. Run away from the baby. But anyway, she didn't.
Or every time the baby comes anywhere near Rose, just the doctor being like, oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, can't help but notice you're getting that baby really close to Rose, and that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So if you just want to back off, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm looking after it. They have their little fight.
And then they make up. Oh. And then the doctor, the TARDIS kid,
And she's still smug.
is all hot, and good thing it wasn't in his pants.
Oh, no.
I would have gone up to the mom and been like, you see that Rose lady your husband came with today? She's a pedophile. Don't let her touch the baby. And she's like, get over!
Hey,
Get
that
over
would
my
have worked.
baby!
Now, that would have been much more effective.
I'd be like, why? I don't understand. Like, don't touch her!
Get the fuck away from my baby!
Or, if you didn't want to be quite that gruesome, you could just say she's obsessed with babies and steals babies all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you didn't want to make Rose a
She
pedophile.
spent 10 years in jail for stealing babies. Hey, that's a nice baby you have.
Can I hold it?
Well, she acts like that, where she's like, oh my God, is that baby? Is that baby? Yeah, get the fuck away from my baby. You turn around, you turn back, and Jackie is just like stabbing Rose, like, get the fuck away from my baby!
This didn't work out at all.
I tell you what, she's a bloody good baby. She didn't cry much.
Well, she's a prop for most of it.
Yeah, I think so.
Apparently, the actor who played Pete Tyler used to use her for soccer practice.
Oh, really?
On set, in between shots, the fake baby
The
prop
fake
they
baby.
were using.
Okay.
Used to just kick it
Rose.
around.
Oh, wow.
And then Rose would come
mean.
in and she'd have all these bruises on her face. She'd be like, is someone kicking around my younger self?
I didn't know that. That's a good one.
Yeah. I don't know. Is Pete trying to be like, look at the baby and look at Rose. They're the same person. It's like, yeah, one's still a baby. What are you talking about?
Well, did she tell him? Did he didn't know that she couldn't touch him, right? He only told her.
No. But what was he trying to do? He was trying to prove to Jackie that
Jackie,
they were the same person.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And so he was saying, you know, if you put them together, which I
She
thought about
worked it
that.
out at the end, didn't she?
Yeah.
But I reckon you could take any baby, stick it next to someone and be like, look, it's him as a baby. And you'd be like, oh, okay, sure, I suppose.
I don't know. I think.
Could you though?
No.
I think so. Yeah, if you
Not
had
on this day.
if you had neutral colours and you had you could have a female baby and stick it next to me and be like, well, yeah, that makes sense, and I'd be like, oh, fuck you.
But in 2019, you'd be like, no.
So what I would like to say, being the only person who is a mother
Right.
and has given birth, yeah, I'd know my kid. I would.
as a baby.
I just would.
As
There
an
would
adult.
be something. I mean, you would. If you ever meet either of my children, you will, one, know they're mine by the way they look, but also, you know, personality and stuff. Yeah, I would. I swear to God,
I just think
would.
she would have known just from talking to Rose.
Yeah.
And Pete. But anyway, they needed to do that so that the baby touches Rose, so that somehow that makes the Reapers be
Eat the doctor.
like, oh, it's time to go in. It's time to chow down, boys.
Yeah. Get the Milo ready.
And then the Doctor saves them all by being like, I'm the oldest thing in here. Eat me. And they do.
And he's like, whoa, that was a bluff.
Yeah. Oh no, you call my bluff.
That was a bluff.
And then I remember first watching this and thinking, my God, what do they do now?
Yeah.
The doctor is gone. Like, the whole time when I first watched this episode, and even my next time, I wanted Pete to be able to live. I wanted her to have her daddy.
The doctor said with the
TARDIS,
he would have been able to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he
But
had
so
figured
then,
out a way.
so
yeah.
I think they worked like, you know, so the
He figured
TARDIS,
out a way, yeah.
he was just
Yeah.
like, I gotta do what originally was meant to happen.
And once he was gone in the TARDIS, I thought, that's it. I mean, there is no hope. And it was so sad because she was going to lose her dad all over again, which is bleh.
Yeah, I was crying too.
Oh.
He goes, this is what I gotta do, love. I gotta go kill myself.
No, I didn't feel bad. I was just like, what a brave dude.
I
And
did think he was
But then
very
she gives him the vase back, and it's like, well, it doesn't matter now. I've already been to the wedding. I've already had an extra few hours. Like, you can just leave the vase here, and why do I need the vase? I don't understand.
I don't know. I love this. I liked the symbol of it.
I'm so
The symbolic.
unemotional that when the car actually hit him, I went, he wasn't going fast enough. That was my first thought. That's not fast enough. He got a broken hip, if anything. Imagine if it didn't kill him, he just broke his leg, and then they're like, oh, Rose, you got to get that hammer and crack my head open.
Jeez,
Like,
Dad,
"Oh,
I'm sorry about this.
oh my
the
God.
Vase, get the vase, smash my head open.
He's like beating his head in. He's like, he's like, it's hurting a lot, but you gotta put more power in. And so everyone in the wedding comes out and has a crack at him.
Everyone's killing him.
Jackie stabs him. Oh, God, come on, die, Pete.
And eventually he dies, but after like really a long.
Painful, horrible.
Yeah.
But then the Reapers are still there, like, no, shit, that didn't do anything. Oh, well, we're all complicit in this murder.
In the murder of Pete.
Or it does work, and Rose is the only one who remembers. And the doctor's like, so, what an adventure. And she's just crying in the corner, like, oh, what have I done?
Yeah, she's looking out the TARDIS window.
She's just constantly cleaning her hands, like, they'll never be clean again. They'll never be clean.
Spot out, I say.
That would change the story at the beginning of the episode.
It would.
This is your father. He died because your uncle smashed his head in. I stabbed him.
And some blonde girl shot him in the head with a gun.
And the doctor goes, hey, Rose, you ready for your next adventure? Oh, God, you've hung yourself. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I should have got you some help.
I really do not understand human emotion.
I'm not a real doctor. I didn't get you some therapy. I'm so sorry.
It reminds me of many, many, many years ago. A friend of mine hit an owl at night and he got out to check on it and it was just, on its last legs. And he thought, well, I've got to put this poor thing out of its misery. So the only thing he had in his car was a fold-up chair. Oh. So he said he went over and he hit it as hard as he could with this fold-up chair because he wanted to put it out of its misery. And he said, and then it went, ooh, and he went, oh, it's alive. So he got a box and put it in a box and took it home. And he said the next day at night they opened it up and he said, and the owl shot out. And I went, yeah, because it was worried you were going to hit it with another fucking chair.
Jesus.
I mean, you get hit by a car, then a chair, you'd get the hell out of there.
I've had that. Like, I hit a cat.
Oh, it's awful
But
when you hit an
I
animal.
didn't know what to do. I'd never hit an animal before. I just pulled over. I got out of my car, and obviously it still wasn't dead. But I didn't know what to do. And then another car pulled over, and they got out, and without even talking to me, they picked up a blanket, wrapped up the cat with a blanket, then opened up my passenger door and put it on the seat, and then looked at me. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, you got to drive it to a vet now. I'm like, okay. So I did that, and the whole time the cat was like at me. I'm like, oh man, like looking at me. I'm like, oh, don't look at me, man. I'm so sorry.
Oh shit.
By the time we got to the vet, it was dead.
Yeah.
And but what it had done, it peed all over my passenger
Oh no.
seat
cat
car.
pee.
And like I didn't even notice because like it didn't have much of a smell. Didn't notice, so I just went along with my life. And like a week later, I was at a mate's house at 8:00 at night or something, and I left my window down and I went and chatted for like an hour or two. Got back to my car, got in my car, and he lives in like quite a bushy area.
Yeah.
And I hadn't noticed the 4 cats that went through the window or were now on the passenger seat, kind of like sniffing it and like so I turned on the car and 4 cats ran across me and jumped out the window, and I was like, ah! It was it was single-handedly the scariest thing that's ever happened. 4 cats just out of nowhere. One came from the back, jumped over me out the window. I was like, what the
This is the cat killer. Everyone
I love the
out.
idea if you had gotten out and been like, okay, well, what can I use to kill this cat? And you're just about to kill the cat, and the guy comes out with a blanket. He's like, you're going to take it to the vet, aren't you? You're like, oh, yeah, that's
just
why I have this
cheese
hammer in my
first.
hand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a terrible thing if you hit an animal. There was a roo that had been hit, and I got out, and it was stuck in the middle of the road, so it was really badly damaged, and I moved it. Another lady pulled up, and we sort of moved it away with its tail, because, they'll claw the crap out of you. And we rang the police, and the police came along, and we said, there's a sanctuary or something like that. And the guy went, yeah, we'll take it to a sanctuary. And I went, you sure you'll take it to? He goes, yeah. We drive off. He shoots the thing in the head. I mean, obviously it probably wouldn't have survived.
Yeah,
but
holy shit.
It was nice that he tried to tell me it was going to go to
Take
a
it to
farm
the sanctuary
and have
in
a happy
the
life.
sky.
Yeah. Anyway,
What's the gun for? Oh, that's my sanctuary taking gun. That's what that is.
sometimes you got to take him at gunpoint.
I think it's funny that he gets hit by the car, and then when it cuts back to him, he's like lying beside the car, and it's like he would have been flying the other way, the other direction, nowhere near the car.
And there's not. I mean, not that I wanted a lot of blood, but there isn't any.
No, of course not. No, you can't show that in a PG show.
No. But it is nice that she gets to be there with him.
Yeah, but she changes time so that there is someone
Yeah.
sitting there with him.
Right.
And yet everyone's in the church not that far away who don't hear anything.
Yeah, Jackie doesn't run over. She's like, I just stood there and watched this blonde woman hang out with him until the ambulance arrived.
If that was my partner, I'd be running out there, hair on fire. Well, not on fire, but...
Has anyone got any lighter fluid? I need to set my hair on fire.
I cannot make this all about Dave, all right? Hair on fire.
This is my moment.
Yeah.
My husband's about to die. How do you know he's going to die? I'm going to set him on fire with my hair.
So everybody light my hair and let me run.
But does she create another paradox? Because then there's no one. There was somebody with Pete when he died, which then therefore means that Rose doesn't have the impetus to go back and visit Pete when he died, because the reason she wanted to go back and visit him is because he was alone when he died. So therefore, it's another paradox.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
That hurts my head. I have a head cold. That hurts my head. Just even thinking about it.
Jackie's just telling her the story of being
maybe she remembers. She's the only one that remembers.
Maybe.
Rose is the only one who remembers, because he says Rose will remember.
So then she knows, so she doesn't have to go back.
Yeah.
Or Jackie tells her the story. It's like, there was someone there the whole time. A Reaper appears. Like, what the fuck is that butthole? Ah.
Well, and she says it in such a nice way. Instead of, there was some tardy blonde that your father was probably doing behind my back with these stupid tonics.
Yeah,
And
and then the doctor turns up. He's like, Rose, we gotta go back and save your kids. Join me in the DeLorean, Marty.
No. Don't have sex with your mother. Rose, don't have sex with your father.
One rule, don't have sex with your dad. Rose, what are you doing?
He was so sad.
He just needed comfort.
He said, the only thing that would make me happy is to stick his pee-pee inside of me, so we did.
Oh, God.
Is that a paradox? I don't know.
That sounds like such a man.
More
meme.
Reapers are coming. More. They're like, Jesus.
We better have sex again. Oh, God, more Reapers.
What?
Maybe if I have sex with a Reaper. Oh, more Reapers. What's going on?
Need to see the Reaper Commander. They're having sex, boss. What?
What? This is not supposed to happen.
I've looked down on the battleground, and there's 3 times more Reapers than we thought there would be. I don't know what's going on, but it is fucked up.
Yeah, everybody's watching. It's all weird.
Someone's having sex with someone they shouldn't be having sex with right now.
All right, that's the end of the episode. Is there anything else anyone would like to say about?
I did enjoy it. I blubbed a lot.
So did I.
There were some problems with it, timeline or storyline wise. A few holes in the plot that were pretty obvious that I didn't notice the first time. But yeah, if you ever need a good cry, it's always a good one.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. Being my first
Eccleston,
Doctor, that's not the Jodie Whittaker.
That's not Jodie.
Yeah, I thought the funniest part in the whole episode was when
Milo?
the Reaper hit the door at the back and kind of bounced off and hit the ground. I was like, that's pretty funny.
I thought for sure you were going to say, well, the funniest bit was when Pete got hit by the car. Oh, it was fucking hilarious.
But I didn't get emotional.
No.
There weren't a lot of funny bits in this one.
And I think I didn't get emotional because I came into that one episode, so I had no connection to any characters.
Did you feel an attachment to Pete by the end of it? Because we didn't know anything about Pete either. So the attachment I built up for Pete was through that episode.
No, not really.
No.
I just don't operate like that.
Yeah, that's right. You're a Cyberman.
Well, yeah. I just like, oh, okay. I like you should
joking.
die. I'm more just like I'm just like you should be dead, man.
So you're practical.
Well, you should be dead.
I like that.
Did Taylor cry?
We laughed.
Yeah. So you're a perfect pet.
Yeah. That's right.
So it is the fact that you don't. I don't know if
Right
Taylor's an
at the
emotional person,
start when
you
she
don't.
was like, "Oh, your dad died." Well, like, oh, we're in for a great one. Strap in.
This is going to be
It's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious episode.
I really did miss that. I missed the humour because I do like that when the Doctor has humour. I do like when they do serious, but I did miss the humour in this one.
Yeah, I turned to Taylor. I was like, I hope she saves him, and then he has to die later.
Oh, my
really?
God.
No, I didn't say that.
I hope that there's these creatures with buttholes for faces. And have you seen this episode before? Yeah,
Going
maybe.
back to look at the butthole faces.
It's quite obvious
Please
once you
do.
see it. First
Yeah.
time I was like, wow, all right.
Yeah, it's like the first time I ever saw the space station, the very first one, and I went, wow, if that's not a penis, I don't know what is. And then it comes back later and it looks even more like a penis the second time.
Yeah.
It's like they've added bits to go, oh, this is really penisy now.
Yeah, and then you got real pissed off when they tried re-entry.
Yeah. Oh, good God, you know.
I did enjoy it though. Thank you for letting me watch it.
Thank you for being on.
And we're going to get you back for at least a Tennant and a Smith.
Yeah, one of every Doctor will get you back. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
so you
At
get
least.
to see who's your fave. You get to pick one. This
Still
year.
Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he was just, I liked him. He's fine, but I felt like he was more Indiana Jones. That's
Yeah,
what
he's a very grumpy Doctor.
grumpy bit like, and that's not terrible.
Not as grumpy as Capaldi, but
No.
But yeah.
I feel like
PTSD.
he's the one you'd send in to get stuff done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like if stuff was really bad, I'd be like that guy.
Yeah. That guy, he can do it.
Yeah. Well, he's the guy who has to deal with the world that, without the Time Lords and the Daleks and stuff. So.
And he didn't use his screwdriver. He once.
No. I know.
Oh, he charged the battery and
that-
the key.
That was it. But it wasn't. I like that we didn't overuse the screwdriver as much in the first. We haven't really overused it in this series, I would think.
As we always do, score out of 5 for the episode.
Because I remember giving Rose a 4. I don't know. This is really hard. It's either a 3 or a 4. I can't quite work out. I think I'm going to go 4.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 4 because it is a really lovely episode. It did make me cry. There are some plot holes in the story, but, that's Doctor Who. I live with that. I like it as much as I like the original Rose. So, yeah, I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
Because there'll be other ones that'll get much lower than this and have.
Chris, out of 5?
I'll give it a 3 because I got nothing to compare it to
Okay.
for the whole season.
But how much did you enjoy? You just kind
It was
of...
pretty. It was good.
If someone
but
said, do you want to watch Father's Day again? You'd be like, oh.
I watched it twice for this
Okay.
episode.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't think I'd watch it again.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't
So
watch
3,
it
so it's, just...
But I'm not like that. I'd never, even my favorite shows, I don't go back and rewatch.
Me too, yeah.
I've rewatched Breaking Bad. That's pretty much the only show I've rewatched.
Oh, God, it was hard enough to watch the first time, let alone... Oh,
I only started the second season and I went, this is too difficult to watch.
it's so hard to watch. I mean, it's good, but it's so...
But most of the episodes of Doctor Who I've only watched once when they came out. Like, I'm the same. I don't go back and rewatch. I watch particular episodes, but I don't go back and rewatch whole series. So
I have my comfort episodes. If I really, really want to watch some Doctor Who, I've got a few that I will always go back to, and I've watched a lot of times, and 1 or 2 movies, I think. But normally I'm not a rewatch sort of person either.
Okay.
But you got to have your comfort, when you just feel miserable and you just want to watch something that's easy and you don't have to think and you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
So I actually was re-listening to the episode where we reviewed Rose, and I was surprised I gave it a 4 because I thought I gave it a 3.
Yeah, I was surprised I gave it a 4 too.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I don't know what to give this episode. I really enjoy it, and obviously I cried at the end. But talking about it, there is a lot about it that doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's either a 4 or a 5 for me. That's where I'm coming from. Either a 4 or a 5, and I know I gave Rose a 4, very low 4 by the way.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of stuff I didn't remember about that episode. No, I'm going to give it a 5. Yeah, I'm
All right.
just going to go give it a 5. It's a low 5.
That's
But
all right.
yeah, because it got me. It hit me. And my question that I asked on Facebook is, if something makes you cry, do you automatically give that a great score? Obviously, you've given it a 4, so you've gone down that route of not.
But
not so
I am
much.
also someone who goes out of their way to avoid anything sad.
Yeah.
So if people say go and see this, it's really sad, I won't go. I will never watch it. I will never go out of my way to make myself cry. That's stupid. It loses a mark because I cried. Really.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
And actually thinking about it right now, like the movie version of Les Mis, it has like Russell Crowe and Hugh Jackman in it. Like I cry during that because that is such a sad thing, but it's not a great movie. No. It's an okay movie. I wouldn't go, oh, this is the version of Les Mis you should go and see.
Yeah, but if you ever want to be depressed and cry a lot, watch it.
Oh, but Les Mis is one of my favourite musicals of all time.
Yeah.
But you watch it and you're like, oh, the singing's okay. But then you listen to like a recording of a Les Mis soundtrack and you're like, oh, holy shit. Like Russell Crowe is just holding it together, basically. Compared to a guy who's like singing his guts out and you're like, oh, shit.
I don't know why they did it. I mean, I don't mind that they did it live, but I've never understood that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why did they? I mean, yes, they all have lovely voices at some point, although Russell is struggling. And there are a few notes that Hugh struggles with. Record it. I mean, no, you're not getting. The
director wanted them to make decisions on, like, as they were acting. Like, instead of, normally with musicals, you record the music months in advance and then you're, like, kind of locked into, oh, yeah, I have to do this now when I act. So they wanted to.
But I'll tell you, if I didn't think it was possible for me to fall more in love with Anne Hathaway, but I did. I love Anne Hathaway.
Okay.
I'm going to turn for her.
As a prostitute.
Oh, no, just love her. I love her. Beck will hate that. Love.
Sorry, Beck. Hopefully you'll edit this episode even though you're not here. So I give it a 5. Thank you so much for joining us, Chris. One last question. What movie do you think would be improved by adding the Doctor?
Oh, I'd love to see him in Terminator.
Terminator?
Because there's time. It's like Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
As the Terminator, or like as replacing a character, or just added in as well?
Just added in, like he's like kind of like maybe an advisor. He's like, yeah, I guess. I think it'd be cool.
He's like, oh, I'll help you with this Terminator. He sees the Terminator kill someone. He's like, oh shit, you're on your own. Bye.
Or maybe Terminator 1, where he's actually plays the person who fights the Terminator.
Oh, the guy who helps Sarah Connor.
Michael Bain.
Michael Biehn,
yeah. Kyle Reese.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's such a crush on him.
John Connor's father.
That's right.
Yeah, so the Doctor is John Connor's father.
Imagine that.
I like that.
I'd also, how cool would it be to like see like a crossover, like it obviously can't happen, but like kind of like Infinity War and stuff. How cool would it be to see him come just they're flying through space and you see like a TARDIS go past.
That's all you need. You wouldn't need the Doctor. Just that little nod to it would be lovely.
Or in the next movie, they're like, oh, well, this crazy time travel. How the hell did any of this happen? And the Doctor turns up and he's like, don't worry, it can happen. Bye.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to see that.
Oh, I like that. The Terminator. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'd like to see the Doctor and the Terminator. That would be good.
All right, Chris, anything you'd like to plug? This will come out just before Briz Funny Fest.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
thank you so much for being on. Yeah, thank you for being on the episode. And is there anything you'd like?
Thank you.
I was just trying to think. You put me on the spot there. Yes, I'm doing a show called Stand Up vs Improviser, which is just a silly game show where I get 2 stand-ups and 2 improvisers from the scene and pit them together through some fun games
in a rage cage.
Yeah, to see which the art form's truly the funniest. And it's
where is the rage cage before you go?
It's in Highgate Hill.
The show you're doing will
be at Hey Ya Bar, and I'm doing on the 15th, 22nd, and 29th at 10 o'clock. So it's like the late show of the Funny Fest.
Okay, and it's at Hey Ya?
It's at Hey Ya Bar.
Okay, and then you've got Magic Mike on
Sundays
every Sunday.
7:30 every Sunday, and then Big Hawk Fridays every Friday night, Paddington on Nogger Terrace at the Trams substation.
Awesome, great.
Yeah.
Hey, you two are just busy.
Mm-hmm. You can catch me doing stand-up around Brisbane a couple times a week.
Definitely. Chris Martin Comedian, is that your Facebook page? Yep. And Nicchia, anything to plug?
Well, for Briz Funny Fest, stupidly, or maybe not stupidly, put my hand up for the debates. So we're on the same team that Dooney's been organising for Briz Funny Fest. And, of course, as always, All In.
And you'll be emceeing the version for Briz Funny Fest, is that correct?
Oh, during August, yes, at All In. Yes, we've got a good lineup.
I'm also doing the debates too.
Yep.
I just remembered that. I'm like, when you mentioned that, I'm like, oh, yeah, that.
Yes. And I run Briz Funny Fest. I'll help organise Briz Funny Fest.
You do
so please check it out, brizfunnyfest.com. And Chris just reminded me, so I'm in 5 shows for Briz Funny Fest.
Oh, my God.
I am in Ho-Hum Improvised Musical. You can check that out at Concept. I imagine that's where we're going to be. I am in Randy and Friend with Randy Pickles, a friend of mine. That's at the Milk Factory. I'm in the Stand-Up versus Improviser that Chris just mentioned. The live D4WH that we're doing.
Oh, my God.
And
the debates.
The debates.
Oh, and the debates. Yeah. The debates.
And I imagine you'll probably be in a few Big Fork Friday shows.
Yeah, and probably a couple of Big Fork school night comedy.
So you might be doing 6 or 7.
Right, well, I'm just feeling lazy now because normally I do like one show for Briz Funny Fest, a couple of nights. Last year I did one for one night. All I'm doing is D4WH.
Oh, it's going to be insane.
And then I'm going to sit Adam down and say, Adam, you cannot do everything in life. Pick some things, yeah. And if he doesn't pick this one, I'll beat him until he does. With a big vase. D4WH is going live. Can you believe that? Live from the TARDIS, actually live from Haya Bar on August the 14th, 5 p.m. $15 online for tickets or $20 at the door. Or you can use our code DALEK, D-A-L-E-K, and get 20% off your tickets. Please come along and meet your hosts, Adam, myself, our very trusty Beck Tech, and our two guests, Glenn Stevens and Beck Buckingham. Hope to see you there. Bring a friend.
D4WH is on Facebook. Give our page a like for updates and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at D4WHpod. We'll post questions and polls and would love your input and feedback. Rate and review us on iTunes, recommend us on Facebook and follow us on Podbean. We are also now available on Spotify and Stitcher. Help us get the word out. Tell your friends about us. And if you see someone on the street wearing a Doctor Who shirt, politely go up to them and suggest our podcast. Okay, our suggestion for this week are Pancake Store and Jack-o'-lantern. Get the word out. You're in the mood for something sweet and delicious.
Ooh,
so you go to the one place you can go, a pancake store. Not a place where they serve you pancakes, but a place where they just sell the pancakes and you take them home, make them yourself. So you walk into the pancake store and it's so many different types of pancakes. No pikelets, no scones, just pancakes.
Oh, good.
And maple syrup and butter. That's it.
And it better be Canadian maple syrup because it's the
Definitely,
best.
the good stuff. And you're walking through and suddenly hear a little bit of a laugh in the back. What's that down there? So you walk further and further, and the store seems to be a lot longer than it looks from the outside. You keep walking
like
and walking and feel like you've been walking for ages, and then right at the back you see a little jack-o'-lantern sitting there, and it goes, hello. Come to the pancake store, have you? Do you want to try these pumpkin pancakes? And you're like, no, that sounds terrible. No, okay, well, fuck you then. And then opens its mouth, and out comes the sweet sounds of D4WH.
Aww.
You're like, Jack-o'-lantern, maybe I do want pumpkin pancakes. It goes, no, you had your chance. And then suddenly you find yourself out on the street. It's been 3 weeks later. You don't know where you've been, but you're addicted to pancakes made out of pumpkin and D4WH.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That went a long way, didn't it?
Yeah, went a long way. Until next time, keep searching the skies for the Doctor.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of The Nerd Infinite. And then the sound of dragons spitting fire and stuff. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
I thought it was a whale.
Yeah. Yeah, we have plenty of whales out
Why
here.
is there a whale?